Ready, Mr. Adams? Ready, Eve? This is Mr. Adams and Eve. They play movie stars who are husband and wife. Starring Ida Lupino and Howard Duff. And in real life, they actually are husband and wife. It's Mr. Adams and
Eve. Anything about us in the trade papers, love?
Nope. Didn't mention us once. Who are you waving at?
Drying my nail polish.
Oh.
What do you think of it?
I ought to cancel my subscription.
No, I mean the nail polish.
Nice. Red, huh?
You get this color, sweetheart, by mixing 3 different nail polishes together. Now, tell me the truth. Have you ever seen this color before?
I'll tell you the truth, I haven't really looked.
Special formula. Zsa Zsa gave it to me and swore me to secrecy. How does it look?
Dangerous.
Well, that's the name of it. Oh, I always say if you take the trouble, you can come up with something different. Your mother's here. Oh, good. Well, where is she? Outside, talking to the cab driver.
I bet he's tall, dark, and has sad eyes.
Who?
The cab driver.
Well, that's a fine way to talk about me poor old mother.
I'll bet you $1 million.
Look, I've a notion to take you up on that. Hello, children.
Hello, Connie,
What a lovely cab driver. Tall, dark, and eyes that look as though he suffered. I could have been wiped out.
Hiya, beautiful.
I'm beat.
From one kiss?
Don't flatter yourself, Sonny. Even Valentino couldn't do it with one kiss, and he tried. Of course, I was stronger in those days. I'm beat, absolutely beat. And I adore what you've done with the living room fireplace. Dramatic background for you. And I'm having my bedroom painted in the most wicked-looking pink you ever saw. It's the same color John Barrymore had his bedroom painted in. I happen to be using the same decorator, and he told me.
Listen, Connie, darling, while they're doing your apartment, why don't you stay here with us?
Oh, no, I was going to a hotel. I don't want to bother you children.
Oh, don't be silly. We've loads of room.
Sure, Connie, stick around. We'll have a ball.
I just can't wait for you to get older.
Are you going to stay with us?
I'd love to. But, darling, you'll have to learn to put less vermouth in a martini.
I got a lot of things to learn, I guess.
Wait a minute. Your nails, they're the same color.
Where did you get the formula?
Zsa Zsa.
Oh, that's all right, then. I gave it to her. And, darling, if I do stay here, and if Freddie calls up, just tell him I'm not in.
Is he the one with the boat?
No, that was George. I stopped seeing him months ago. I got tired of getting leg burns climbing back and forth over those gun whales.
Well, who is Freddie?
Television producer, drives one of those mad little sports cars. He's a dear man, took me sightseeing. But he keeps stopping to look at views at my age.
He parks to look at views.
Yes, why, I ask you?
Oh, if you don't know why, sweetie, I'm not going to tell you.
I have a feeling things are going to start livening up around here.
But if Warner calls, tell him I'll meet him at the drugstore.
Why can't he pick you up here?
Oh, I don't want to bother you.
Listen, if he's taking you out, the least he can do is come here so that we can take a look at him. I'm not going to have some man picking you up on street corners.
If you must know, dear, I told him my daughter was 16. And, darling, let's face it.
Who is this Warner?
He's a doll. You love him. Owns a factory someplace where he makes some silly little thing called an armature or something. You know, makes things go. He flies his own plane.
And you go up alone with this man in his plane?
I think maybe I'd better go stay at a hotel.
Oh, stick around, Connie.
You're cute. If only your wife weren't such a nag.
Well, every time you come around here, she starts getting motherly.
That's because sometimes Connie forgets she's a mother.
But, darling, you know I've given you my all.
That's true.
Messenger boy just brought this telegram for you.
Thanks.
Has he left yet?
Yeah, did you want to wait for an answer?
No, I just thought my mother would like to meet a man who owns a bicycle for a change.
Eve.
What?
Bad news?
No, just business. Would you excuse us for a minute, Connie, please?
Certainly, darlings. They would just learn to put a shade less vermouth.
What is it?
My mother's coming to visit us.
Oh, that's wonderful. It'll be... Oh. Oh, well, they'll get along. Your mother's a sweet woman, and we haven't seen her for ages.
Connie's a great gal, too, but they're two entirely different people. Connie's been in show business all her life. My mother's been leading a nice, normal life in Seattle, and their interests, their viewpoints, and the way they're different.
Well, they'll get along. What can happen?
I think that's what the fellow said the first time they split an atom.
Oh, sweetheart. Everything's going to turn out all right.
Sure it will.
I just wanted to get some extra blankets for Mrs. Adams' room.
All right, dear. Where's my mother?
She's in the kitchen.
In the kitchen?
No, Howie. Look, there are only going to be 4 of us living in this house for just 1 week.
I know.
Well, there's you, me, and your mother. And, my mother. Now, you and I get along. You love your mother. I love mine. You get along with my mother. I get along with yours.
Yes, but will your mother get along with my mother?
Okay, I can finish up the room now. Do you think this will be enough blankets?
Sure, dear.
Mm-hmm.
That vase doesn't look good next to that plant.
You can't talk that way about my mother. You know, as a matter of fact, my mother gets along fine with almost everybody.
Meaning my mother doesn't.
No. It's like lobster Newburg and blueberry pie. They're both good, but they don't go together.
Look, what are you worried about? So both your mothers are going to be here at the same time. But you just call it an interesting experience, and whatever happens, they'll both be gone in a week.
That's great philosophy, Elsie. Great philosophy.
Thank you for your help, dear.
Now, could I ask you a favor?
Of course, dear.
Could I start my vacation tonight? I'll only be gone for 1 week, and then
No.
I was just asking.
Coward.
I just got to find out what my mother's doing in the kitchen.
Now, you see, I've got just about a half a glass of ammonia in there. And just before it comes to a boil, I put in the diamonds. It's really the only way to properly clean diamonds, and every woman should clean her diamonds at least twice a month.
If there's one thing I can't stand, it's dirty diamonds.
Clean your diamonds twice a month. See your jeweler twice a year.
Connie, I've got to talk to you about Howard's mother.
I'm looking forward to meeting her again. You know, I only met her once for 5 minutes at your wedding. That hardly counted because we were both crying.
Well, listen, I've got to tell you something about her.
Yes.
Oh, it's nothing like that. She's a wonderful, sincere woman.
Why should we talk about her then?
Your diamonds are boiling, dear.
I always pour them through a strainer, so I don't take any chance of losing the small ones.
Good thinking.
Now we've got to wait for the diamonds to cool off. You know what I found out? This is the same way you boil eggs, only instead of using ammonia, you boil water.
Well, that's a nice thing to know.
Of course.
Now, if anyone asks you how to boil an egg, you say it's the same as cleaning diamonds, only you use water instead of ammonia.
Right.
Now, about Howard's mother.
What was her first name again, darling?
Hazel. She's a wonderful woman. But she's liable to find things around here a little strange. After all, dear, while you were doing 2 shows a day, she was raising a family.
Pretty soft for her. Do you remember that act I used to have? 4 numbers and a dance.
But she was busy raising a family.
I'll bet I had more changes than she did.
Connie, listen. She's not used to the same things you are.
You know, personally, I don't believe I've ever known anyone named Hazel. Well, now that the diamonds have cooled off, we rub them lightly with just a touch of pumice stone.
Listen, dear, I'm trying to explain that, well, for example, she's different from you.
Ah, I get it. You're afraid she and I won't get along.
That's right.
Darling, please don't worry. I'll play it real straight, nice, simple, unworldly. It'll be fun, like playing a character part.
Connie, wait a minute.
I'll wear a house dress. I'm sure I can borrow one from Studio Wardrobe. I'll get up early in the morning, come into the kitchen and do the egg bit. Then we can sit around and trade recipes.
What recipes do you have?
I suppose she already knows how to boil eggs.
Of course. You can always get a writer to do a script for you.
I know where I can get a recipe. Now, don't worry about a thing. Hazel and plain little old me are going to get along just fine.
What are you doing?
Hello, Romanoff? I want to talk to Mike.